For years, this old barn, or shed, if you can even call it that, sat forgotten, barely patched together, falling apart piece by piece. But when we got this property, I knew I could turn it into the dream shop I've always wanted. After months of planning, grinding, and late nights, this collapsing shed started to become something more. I'm JP, and you're watching Driving Production. This is the story of how I turned this abandoned barn into my dream shop. This old barn had been sitting here for years, empty, forgotten. So the first thing we did was give it a solid foundation. We poured in a new slab right when the house foundation was being redone. Once the floor was dry and clean, we started moving in. And like any garage, it quickly became storage. Boxes, tools, random car parts, and somehow even more stuff. So before doing any real work, I needed to fix one thing: lighting. So off camera, I pulled down all the old fluorescent tubes and replaced them with bright LEDs. Now that I could actually see what I was doing, it was time to make some space. So we cleaned a lot. Then came the fun part, ripping out the old benches and tearing down the walls. With that section cleared, I started framing for a new door and window. Natural light was a big priority for me, so I reused a few big windows we'd taken off the house. The door faces south, so I added windows on the east side and on the west side to catch as much sunlight as possible. Next up, same thing for the rest of the walls. And since the old garage door was basically a wind tunnel, I replaced it with a used 9x7 insulated one, instantly making a huge difference. When I removed the beam, I made sure to brace the ceiling with 2x6 pieces. I don't want to have the roof coming down on me. With spring finally here, we rented a container and cleared out all the junk. Inside, the shop had posts holding up the beams. So to open up the space, we built a new support beam using 2x10s and a leftover I-beam from the house. To solidify things even more, I tied the walls to the beam using brand new 2x6s. Upstairs, the old OSB was done for, clearly with water damage. So we replaced it with 3/4 inch plywood and added extra ceiling braces. Climbing a ladder outside to reach the loft was getting old, so I built a proper staircase instead. Once I could finally walk upstairs, I reinforced the roof peak, tying all those old 2x6 rafters together. Now it was really starting to feel like a proper shop, but the exterior still needed some TLC. I strip off all the old tin siding and set it aside to reuse later. Added missing wood strapping, then wrap the building in house wrap, just in case any water ever sneaks in. For the new exterior, I went with pine boards. Simple, clean, and timeless. Now, just 3 more sides to go. While I was up there, I framed a hole for a new window. So even though I already replaced this window, I ended up getting another one that was bigger and in better condition. So I'm reframing the hole and installing a new one instead. Some of the bottom plates were completely rotten, so we cut those out and replaced them too. Earlier, I pulled the electrical panel off the outside wall. Now I can install it inside where it should be. And I added even more lights. Then it was onto the last wall. Outside, I wanted more room to, of course, park more project cars. So we had a load of gravel delivered. My neighbor lent me his Kubota to level it out. My first time driving one of those, and honestly, had a blast doing it. My wife even jumped in to help. Inside, we emptied everything, painted the ceiling, and coated the floor with epoxy. My wife stained and painted the stairs and beam, and it came out perfect. Then came one of the longest parts, cutting all the trims and battens for the board and batten look. To seal everything up tight, I caulked every seam. That too took forever, but it was definitely worth it. Then came the paint. I used Benjamin Moore Element Guard for this in a semi-gloss, and it completely transformed the shop. On the east side, we'd already installed a 16-foot 2x8 ledger to build a small extension for storage. As you can see, the roof was pretty far gone, rusty, holes everywhere, even missing chunks in some areas. Since we were replacing it anyways, we decided to extend it. My dad built some 18-inch ladder extension, and while the roof was off, we added more strapping to strengthen everything. Once the roof was done, we finished the extension and added new soffit and fascia. Now it's really starting to match the house. With the outside finish, it was time to wrap up on the inside. I ran new wiring throughout, added insulation using rock wool, and closed the walls with old tin we'd saved earlier. Then, a fresh coat of white metal paint to brighten up everything. I brought over my old workbench and cabinet from our previous shed in our old house, using my good old Mazda 5. I wonder if I could pull a flatbed with it. Maybe a future project. For extra storage, a friend of mine gave me 2 metal cabinets. We painted one black to match the rest of the shop. Thank you, Eric. To finish things off, I built a new workbench from 2x4s and 3/4 inch plywood. After a final cleanup and a bit of organizing, I finally have a functioning shop. What started as an abandoned barn is now a dream shop. But it's really just one part of a much bigger project. Over the past years, me and my wife and my dad completely renovated our house from the ground up. And we've been documenting that entire process on our new channel, Gore Builds. There, we'll be showing this garage in more detail, plus everything else we've been working on, from home renovations to furniture builds and future DIY projects. So if you've enjoyed this transformation, head over to Gore Builds and check it out. And we'll see you guys next time. Thanks for watching.